Alright gang, welcome back to our Farm Maze Challenge here in Riverbend Springs. It is now October. We're ready for the next stage of our construction project on our shed over here. It's getting pretty big actually. I know you can't really see it from here, but I'm telling you straight up, it's getting pretty large. I don't think we have too many more phases to go here. It should populate, there it is, any minute. And we've got to probably do the shingles at some point. I really don't know how that's going to work yet, but we'll figure it out when the time comes. Either way, we're getting really close here to having that done, so happy about that. Alright. Let's see. Yep, we've got plenty of planks long in there. It only needed 500 liters, but we don't have a way to only put 500 liters in there, so we just put it all in there, and that's fine. It can hold a little bit of extra, no big deal. Today we're going to work on the maize for sure. We've got to, well, first of all, we've got to harvest it. The corn's ready. But secondly, we're going to try to put some more stuff into the maize, try to plan it out a little bit more today, I think, and kind of go from there. Now, we do have 2 fields that are ready to harvest today, specifically the one I just mentioned. The farm maize itself is ready to harvest. In addition to that, our little sorghum field over here is also ready to harvest. And today we're also going to work on, probably once we're done harvesting this field, expanding it basically to the distance we're going to have. Now we are going to lose a tiny bit of this field because I told you I was going to put a track coming in this way, right? And that's what we're going to do. So you're going to lose a little bit of it, but not by much. Not by much at all. But first things first here, let's get into the harvester here. Let's get everything set up. We'll start unfolding it. We can drop off this header and grab the corn header. Well, I should say the other header. Nonetheless, it doesn't necessarily mean it's just corn, but you get what I meant. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. I do want to preface this video really quick here. If you happen to be watching it on the typical schedule that it would come out on, I'm a little concerned I'm not going to get the next episode and even the following episode after that edited and done and uploaded before I leave. As you know, if you've been watching for a consistent basis, I'm getting ready to head out and to Vegas to play in a poker tournament. So I'm going to do the best I can, gang. But I don't want to get your hopes up or anything. I'm concerned I might have a day or two where there's no video, but I'll do everything I can to try to get them done. All of them are recorded except for one. It's just the editing, and I only have one computer. So you know, whenever I'm processing a video, or even editing a video for that matter, I can only do one at a time. And it does take a while, so just wanted to make sure that it was known and you're aware that there's a chance, it's some chance, but there's a chance, maybe it's a little bit more than some chance at this point, but there's a chance, and nonetheless, there's a chance there may be a day or two potentially off. So, I guess what I'm getting at is I apologize ahead of time if that is the case. So I don't think corn is best in October. We can take a peek at that really quick here and figure that out. I don't think it is. No, it's actually as bad as it possibly could be. So this is going to be going into the silo. We're not going to be selling this at all, which is fine. Now, like I mentioned, the other field we have to harvest is this sorghum field. What we're going to do with that is take a good, well, I say a good chunk. It's probably not going to be really a good chunk when all things said and done. But we're going to take whatever we can off that harvest, and we're going to drop it into our chicken coop just to make sure that that's topped up. There's plenty of food in there right now. We really don't have a ton of chickens yet because, as you recall, we bought a number of chickens, but we left a lot of open space for reproduction, which is free. It just takes time. So there's not a ton of chickens in there yet. So what I mean by that we shouldn't take a bunch is that there's probably not a lot of food that's been removed from the silo yet. But we will certainly find out. Now, I don't know how many stages... Man, that is some really bad rendering. I don't know how many stages this construction project's going to have. I feel like we've got to be getting pretty close. I mean, it's you know, it's got elevation, you know, it's got sides and everything on it. It needs a roof, really. But I feel like we got to be getting really, really close here. Now, one thing I don't know if it can be done or not. I probably should have tested it, but I just went with it. When that shed is done, I don't know for sure if I'm going to be able to put things inside the shed, because really, ideally, me, personally, I want to put things in the shed. And what I mean by put things in the shed, I'm not talking about equipment specifically. I'm talking about little collectibles, things of that nature, decoration objects, whatever you want to call it. Because as we mentioned, we want that to be kind of our selling point, our shop, whatever you want to call it, for the farm maze, right? So that's one of the biggest key components here to bringing back this farm maze to its glory days, is getting that shed done. But I'm hopeful that I'm able to push or, you know, glitch, whatever you want to call it, some decoration items or whatever you want, other objects, whatever you want to call it, from the construction menu to make it look a little bit more like what I'm wanting. Now, the problem is, I don't know for sure if there's enough out there for me to really make it look like the shop that I want to make it look like. And there might not be by the time we get to a point where we're ready to really say this series is done, but I'll keep an eye out on, you know, Mod Hub and see if anything comes out that is useful or will be useful for that. So we'll see. There are a couple of things we're going to put in there, and I hopefully that's sufficient enough. If not, we'll just use our imagination a little bit, right, to say it's done. Gonna have to probably come at this a different way, more than likely. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it, but I'm gonna try to get a little closer. Yep, I got it. Never mind. So a couple people asking the poker tournament in Vegas, like where it is and everything else. So what I'm doing is we're actually going out early. So if you have, and I would recommend everybody do this, if you have a membership, well, membership, I say membership, it's not really a membership, but if you have a player's card and you utilize it while you're out there, a trick to tell you how to do it, whenever you go somewhere, so example, let's say I'm staying at an MGM hotel, which I am in this case, when we first get out there at least. So let's say I'm staying at an MGM hotel, and in this case, we're staying at New York, New York. We've never stayed in New York, New York. We wanted to try it, so we're staying there. But let's say we go out to dinner, all right? Well, you should be using that player's card if you're doing any kind of, you know, gambling or you know, whatever you're doing with it. Whenever you eat food, you should also charge everything to your room, because you're going to get points on that card for that. And a lot of the times what happens is when you do that, they're going to send you an email, which is how this worked out for us, free offers. And so we got comped rooms. So that's why we're going out early. I feel like a lot of people know that, but then at the same time, I talk to people and they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And I'm like, well, now there you go. Now you know. So whenever you're there, charge everything to your room. I don't care what you're buying. If you're buying a soda, you're buying pop, whatever, you're buying one drink, whatever it is, just charge it to the room. You just got to keep, you know, the problem with that is you got to make sure you're keeping an eye on your finances while you're doing that. But charge everything to your room. That way you get more points, and that way you get more of an opportunity to get free stays when you go out there. So for us, I had comped rooms at New York, New York, and a couple other MGM ones, just the mid-tier or the low-tier, nothing crazy. We're not massive gamblers by any means. I like to play poker, and you don't get a ton of money when you play poker, so. But anyway, a little trick for you. So we're going out early. We're going to stay at New York, New York for a couple of days, and then we're going to shift to Old Vegas. So the tournament I'm playing in is actually in Old Vegas. Now, Old Vegas is Fremont Street. And it's at the Golden Nugget. Now, it was a package, basically. So the way that this works is you pay for your hotel stay and your entry into the tournament all in one. So technically, my wife is just coming out to Vegas for basically free, because I was going to pay for it regardless if she decided to come or not, right? So the only thing she had to pay for was her hotel flight. So very inexpensive trip for her. So Friday, Saturday, we'll be at Newark, New York. Sunday, we will shift to Old Vegas and be in Old Vegas until we come back. And we come back Thursday, late Thursday, almost midnight, which is the reason why I'm saying I'm a little concerned about Thursday and Friday's episodes. I don't have a whole lot of time. At the time of this recording, it's Wednesday late night, very late. I might not get this whole video done tonight, and I still have to do one more recording tomorrow, which I should hopefully be able to do before normal poker night. But then I have to do the edits and everything, right? And I've got work kind of in the middle there. So that's why I'm just kind of rounding this back out to that and saying I'm a little concerned about it, but we'll see. And let's, fingers crossed, hope for the best that I'm able to get it all done. All right, now one thing we do like to do every episode, we haven't done yet, is look at the used market to see what's out here. Has a great width on the header there, but again, I don't think our harvester, well, having said that, this is a bigger harvester than what we use on the other series, because this one was used, I think, when we bought it. Well, I think we started with it, rather. That is a fantastic price for a cotton harvester, but again, not really worth it for us. Grapes. Cultivator. There's really nothing out here, unfortunately, for us in this series. At least not at this point. Alright, so let's carry on here, gang. It shouldn't take too long to finish this up. It should be a relatively short time lapse, but let's throw one in here. Let's get this knocked out. And then we'll move on to the sorghum field, and we'll have to start re-drilling everything as well after that, right? So let's get going to it. Let's get going to it. Let's get to it. Let's get going. Easy for me to say. And we'll see where we get to. Alright, longer time lapse than I think what I initially told you was going to be, but we started drilling the field too, so we're underway here. Now, I cannot utilize the steering assist or anything like that on this field because it cannot register that it's a field, so we have to do this the old-fashioned way, FS25 and prior, which is fine with me. I mean, I've never had the ability for course play or anything like that previously because I've always been on console, so it doesn't really bother me that much. Might bother some other people, but it doesn't bother me. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get to the end, and we're going to take a quick break here on drilling. I'm going to take the harvester down to the other field. I'm going to get the worker actually beginning harvesting that down there. Actually, they're probably going to get it done. And then we'll come back up here and kind of work on or complete the field here, whichever comes first. Need to turn that off. Alright, let's flip around here and we'll head down there. Got a decent amount of corn out of that. More than I was expecting, if I'm honest with you. Although I feel like at this point I should probably be expecting it every time because we're doing pretty good about getting the proper yield size in there. It's not 100% yield increase, but it is a pretty high yield every time. On the way down here, let's just take a peek at the greenhouse. It should be fine. There shouldn't be any major issues. Quick save here first, and then we'll look at it. But it should be fine for an episode or two. With the water that we put in the last episode, it shouldn't be anything crazy. Yeah, there's plenty of water in there. Nothing to worry about for a while. If you recall in the last episode, we do have those on selling, so that is making us a little bit of money every hour, which is nice. It's nothing crazy, but it is some, which is only going to help us. Need to start working towards paying off the loan as well. If you recall, we do have a loan on this series. It's a $250,000 loan, so it's pretty hefty. We haven't done anything to pay any of that off yet, so we should probably start thinking about doing that. So more than likely, whatever we start making here that we've been collecting in our silo, we will probably take some of that and utilize it to pay off some of the loan. Let's see if the worker can figure it out here. I mean, it's not perfect, but it'll make do. We'll be fine. We can touch it up later. All right, let the worker do their thing there. Let's get back in the drill here. Evidently, I turned the whole engine off. That is, turned the drill off, but evidently I turned the whole thing off. And we'll carry on. So today we're going to put something else in the farm maze. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be yet, but we are going to put something else in there. I'm also hopeful that we can get to the next stage of our shed there today before the end of the episode. We need a few more hours for sure for it to process the wood. But hopefully by the time we're done with harvesting the sorghum field and then re-drilling that field, etc., hopefully we'll be at a point where it is done and we can see what else we need. We do have some wood over there in storage. We've got beams over there, and we've got some regular planks over there. Once that construction's done, really, we won't really need any of that anymore. So what we'll probably do is just turn everything on to selling, more than likely. That way I don't have to worry about taking them over there one at a time. It does mean that you might lose a little bit of money in the long run, but probably won't care that much. But we'll take a peek. We'll take a peek, I should say. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say we're going to do that no matter what, but we'll probably just, leave a couple pallets that have spawned out and then just let it store the pallets inside the actual sawmill until it's time for us to, until we're ready to sell it. We can turn it on auto selling, right? At that point. That way we only have to move a few pallets, if that makes any sense. And that way we make, you know, the most money that we can make off of it as well. Let's see. How are the chickens doing? They are perfectly fine. Like I said, they're going to take very little. Their capacity right now is just barely under the max. So that sorghum field, they're going to get very little from that, but that's fine. The rest of it will just go straight into the silo because, again, I do not believe those. We should probably look at that. I haven't really looked at that, but I don't believe sorghum is good at all to sell right now. Nope, it's going up though, January. And then sunflowers should be the same thing. Sunflowers are actually March. But the price is not terrible right now if we look at that. That's not a bad price. I don't think we necessarily need the money right now though, because even if we were to sell them right now, we're not going to get enough to do anything major. And what I mean by major is buy another field or, you know, anything crazy. So probably worth it just to go ahead and store those and keep those in the silo for a little bit longer as well. Anything new come out here? No. Still the same stuff we saw at the beginning. Kind of to be expected, but sometimes something pops up later on in the day, so it's always worth just double checking it. I would think the worker's pretty much done or getting very close to done. Probably need to go take a peek at the worker and see how they're doing. Let's do that really quick. They've got a little bit more to go. Not much, but there's a little bit more still to go there. Looks like it's got a roof on it now. Is that just me, gang, or does it look like that? Looks to me like there's a roof up there now. Guess it's a wooden roof, which is fine too. We're gonna head over there really quick. I'm gonna see and make sure that it's. I don't think it's done, but maybe it is done. Well, I mean, with that level at least. And they're still doing stuff. Still says planks long is what's needed, so that looks like a metal roof. I don't know where they got that the materials for that, but whatever. It's getting closer though. It's gonna be perfect for us, man. We're gonna have a little bit of an area to buy some stuff if we can find any kind of decorative stuff to put in there. It'll be good. And we can get rid of that little tiny shed that we have with the light there. The light may stay. I don't know for sure yet on that, but the shed can go away. That shed's really our sell point right now, or our imaginary make-believe sell point for the farm maze, right? Now, soon enough, our little mobile home there is also going to go away. Like I said, that's going to be turned into a bit of a parking lot. We're probably going to work slightly on the parking lot today. However, that parking lot we're going to work on will not be where the mobile home is for now. It's going to be the other portion, the spillover, or whatever you want to call it. Or maybe that would be the spillover parking if it's very busy or whatever. The overflow, whatever you want to call it, the overflow parking. You sure need some of that. Alright, the worker finished their job, as you can tell here, so let's go ahead and turn the worker on here. I think there's a tiny little site, unless they touched it up, which maybe they did, but there was a tiny section over here where they started at that I feel like would have been... I guess they did get it. Okay, well, never mind. I really didn't think they were going to come back and grab that spot, but they did, so fine by me. So let's go ahead and take this back. I'm not even going to worry about bringing the dump truck thing back here. There's no reason to. We can just carry it up there with this and make less trips. Dump it into that, and then we can dump it into the silo and store it for a little bit longer. So we'll have a decent amount of crop in there then, which will make us a good amount of money when the time comes. June for the corn, so quite a ways before corn will be ready. Obviously, we're putting corn back in the corn maze there, right? I said most of the time it's always going to be corn. Occasionally, we put sunflowers in it, but more times than not, it will be corn there. I want it to be more traditional to what you see here in Ohio, which is a lot of corn. That is, I would say, probably 80% of what we grow in Ohio is corn. I'm probably way off on those numbers, but that's just my, at least from where I live, that's almost entirely what we see is that and soybeans. Should be able to just unload it from here, which is another reason why I put the silos where I did. Just in case, for whatever reason, we're carting something with this somewhere else and we're, you know, multitasking, similar to what we've been doing today. We then have the ability to still unload without having to wait on that, if that makes sense. Just like that, easy peasy lemon squeezy, baby. So let's go put this away. Okay, we'll keep going. Making sure it was on the ground. I couldn't really tell if it was on the ground or not. Keep going while that's unloading. Now, as far as the other field goes, I don't think we're going to put sorghum in there. We've got plenty of that, and the chickens really have plenty of food right now, so we can hold off on that. I'm not sure what I'll put down there yet. I haven't really decided that. Might be soybeans, but we'll see. So let me get the rest of this done. Let's do a bit of a jump cut here, gang. Edit this out, Z, and because we already did a nice long time lapse, I don't want to put another long time lapse to that extent in here. So we'll do a bit of a jump cut here. I'll get most of it done, or at least a jump cut until I decide to start talking to you again. All right, this field's pretty much done, gang. We've got a tiny little bit up here to touch up here, but otherwise it's all done. Now, our construction project, I just did peek on it again. It's got just under 200 liters left to chew through. Excuse me. So, that means it should be, all things considered and fingers crossed, it should be ready by the time we're done re-drilling the field down here. And I do think we're going to put soybeans in it. It's a small field, and that's fine. We still have some work to do down there to get rid of some of those twigs and everything. I did not do it off camera. But eventually, we're going to get rid of those. And they're kind of in the area where I plan to put the track in anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. We're still making money slowly but surely here every hour. As you can see, we're up to 23,583, which is awesome. But yeah, we'll keep on going at here. I need to get another tractor, really. We talked about putting another tractor in the farm maze. We're not quite there as far as money goes on that either. So a long way to go still. Ideally, we would have been in a situation where we did not put as much fertilizer in this seed drill as we did, because we'd have a lot more money. Probably enough to, well, certainly enough to pay probably $50,000, I would think, around that off of the loan, but it is what it is. Mistake on my part. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, and it happens. What are you going to do? Now, I might be able to go a little bit further along than what I'm actually doing here. Well, at least where I was lining up, I should say. So I think I'm going to try to line it up even a little bit more this way, even though those tree branches and stuff may be in the way a little bit. I'm okay with it. Something like that, I think, would work out well for us. And then just kind of line back up here with the field. Now, I'm going to have to do this all myself because, you know, I haven't actually put down the new area or the track or anything. I haven't sectioned off this field from that, so it's still going to think it's a full field, even though we don't want it to be. So what I'll probably do is go around the headland here and pass, or maybe even two, and then I'm going to take a quick break and try to do that, well, at least try to make a bit of a track down to where it's going to be our little greenhouse area. And then that way, if I need to put it on a worker whenever, I don't have to necessarily worry about them going over that way, if that makes sense. Another branch up here, as you can see, that is stuck in the ground. I've got a lot of those. It's not easy to get these suckers out of the ground. Sometimes if you go over it with a drill like that, it'll start moving it, and sometimes you'll get it to pop out, but there's no rhyme or reason on it. It's not like it's a guarantee that if I go over top of it with it, it's going to pop out. It just depends. I saw a lot of people making comments about how they have not, a lot of people are having issues with it, but they haven't seen as many issues that I'm dealing with, and that's just par for the course, man. That's just my luck of the draw, I guess, huh? I've always got the bad luck going on my side when it comes to Farming Simulator, for sure. Now, these soybeans are going to take a very, very long time before they're ready to harvest, and that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. I talked about in the last episode potentially selling some land, and I think a couple episodes ago I talked about even maybe potentially selling these back. I've changed my mind on that. I've decided we're going to keep these guys, this one and the one directly across from us, and we'll probably buy some more in this area as well. But the smaller field, the very first field we ever purchased, the ones that we didn't start with when we started this challenge, that one will probably go away. I can almost guarantee that one's going to go away at some point. I do have the drive and the want, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I want to buy that field that's literally right next to our farm maze. It's flat, it's right next to our yard, it's a decent size. I want that one, so eventually we will be selling that small field down the hill in favor of that one. The problem is we're going to have to really buy it when it's literally just been plowed or whatever, harvested, because they continually put in a crop, I think it's green beans, that we don't have a harvester for, and we will not have a harvester for on this series. So normally what you would prefer to do, right, is to buy the field once, you know, the computer or whoever has put a crop in there for you, so you actually gain a little bit of extra profit off of it, right? So that field, the cost of that field is not as much as it normally would be if you were to buy it without a crop in it. But when they keep putting green beans in it, it's not going to be something I can do, unfortunately, on this series. It would take us a lot of money. We'd have to get to $500,000 just to get to that. And now, to be fair, we have to get to 250 million would be something, wouldn't it? 250,000 just to pay off our loan. But we can pay that off over time. And realistically, we probably already should have put some money down towards it, but we haven't, so. A lot of things to focus on. A lot of things to focus on here. Okay, so let me do one more little turn going down this way. Kind of get it set up going that way, and then I'm going to put down the track that I want to do leading up to our green. Well, I'm not going to do the entire way to the greenhouse, but I'm going to do at least till we get to the portion where the greenhouses would start, because we know that's not going to change. Well, at least not more than likely it's not going to change. Come on, Z, man, you're better than this. I guess I did hit it. It just the rendering looked like I didn't hit that corner there, but I guess I did because it changed. Oh well. Okay, so let's turn that off for just a second here. I'm going to do a quick save. I just know if I hit start, I was going to have a save, because it saves every 15 minutes. Okay, so this is not going to be probably the best thing you've ever seen, but we're just going to give it a shot and go for it. Now, lately I've been utilizing a lot of this asphalt. I really like the way that looks. I'm going to change it up on this one. We're not going to use the asphalt. I honestly think dirt is probably the best approach here. If I can leave some grass in the middle, but the other issue with that, right, is that there's going to be some of this probably that won't have grass in the middle. I think maybe if I start down here, it might be better off. Let me just see what I can do. Because if I can get closer with, you know, when we're drilling this field, we might as well go ahead and do it, right? I think we're going to get a little bit too close over here. See, yeah, they're starting to tell me land's not owned. So we're going to have to get at least a little bit of this area here. All right, let's see what we can do here. This is not going to be your best you've ever seen, so just bear with me. I'm going to try to just kind of follow this along if I can here. Now, I don't know how far it's going to let me go. Looks like that's probably enough. Okay, that's not bad. I might have made that turn a little bit too wide, but, you know, normally your turns are going to be wider anyway, right? So, okay, it won't let me get rid of this grass for whatever reason, but all right, there we go. That's good enough, I suppose. Something like that. I mean, that's pretty much we're pretty much getting the whole field that way, right? Got a nice track coming down here. I think that works. Maybe do a little bit more here. Just make it a little bit wider. That'll work. That'll work. Probably didn't need to make that secondary pass there to make it wider. Looks a little off now, but that's okay. It's fine. Because I can make this a little bit bigger too. That'll work. It's, again, not perfect, but it'll work. It'll work. Yeah. All right, I'm good with that. So, now having known all of that now, we can probably work to drill most of this. Obviously, those trees and everything are going to be in the way a little bit, but we should be able to still do at least some of this, I think. I probably shouldn't have done what I just did. I probably should have put a little bit of a grass barrier there. You know what? As a matter of fact, we're going to do it really quick. Why not? I wasted a little bit there, gang, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not too concerned about wasting a tiny bit right there. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. I can do some more touch-up work a little bit off camera here, but I think this is what we're kind of looking for. Something like that looks pretty good to me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that. Okay, that is not the most perfect that you've ever seen, but we can gloss over that a little bit, right? We can gloss over that a little bit. That's fine. It's not terrible, it's just not the best. Okay, so you tell you what we're going to do really quick here. I'm going to put this on a worker for a brief moment here. I'm going to just turn the headlands off. Don't even worry about the headlands. Just do the middle. He might not do exactly where you want him to do, but that's fine. Or she. She might not do exactly what you want her to do, but that's fine. Let's go put this away. I would suspect that our shed is ready for the next stage, so I want to look and see what we need. Fully aware that we really can't do a whole lot with it right now without the tractor, because we only got one tractor, but... It looks pretty good, though, man, doesn't it? It looks awesome. I think you could buy that. I would buy that for a farm maze shed. I would buy that. Planks long. Okay. Required mixed materials planks long. What? It says 0. What? Do we just need to wait until the next day, then? Is that what it is? I guess maybe that's what it is. We just need to wait till the next day? Do we even have planks long right now? I have no idea. I doubt it. Wood beam. We don't. We don't have enough planks long right now anyway, even if we wanted to. Oh, I don't think I mentioned it. Let me turn these back off. I know it doesn't bother a lot of people, but it bothers me for whatever reason. I can't explain why it does. It's just... I don't know. It just bothers me. Anyway, the big massive one that we brought back that was a pain in the ass that took me a long time, it's been put into the sawmill. I just wanted to get rid of it, get it out of the way. The only thing remaining is this, what we have sitting right here, which still has a ton, 2.7 tons still in it. This is the only thing remaining of that, so once, you know, it has enough room to accept this, that big tree will be gone. We don't have to worry about it anymore. We do have some other annoying big trees, but they're nothing compared to that one, so that'll be good. Alright. Yeah, so the worker's doing exactly what I thought he was going to do. He's just going to take the middle based off of that headland pass there. Which, that's fine. We're going to take over here in just a second. We're actually just going to take over now. Why not? Alright, we're pretty much done here, gang. This field's all taken care of. Which is good. We're back to pretty much the full size of it now. Minus a tiny little section right there. Awesome. Let me fold this up. Take this back now. And I guess the construction project, I guess we just have to wait till the next day, really, to see the fruits of our labors there, I suppose. Because to me, it seems like it's done, but maybe there's still another step that's remaining. I don't know. We're gonna head back here, and we'll jump into the menu and the construction menu, I should say, and we're going to put something down in the farm maze. Alright, so first things first here, gang, we're going to put down this well. And we're going to put it right there. Not bad. I like it. I like it a lot. The other thing we're going to put down... let me see if I can find it here. Where did it go? I've lost it now. I forget where it is. We're going to put this down, which it calls it the Sunset Farm, which, whatever, that's fine. I don't really care if that's what we want to call the farm or not, but I think that's what it originally was called. We're going to call it that now, I guess. But I want to have a little bit of an entryway here for, you know, when our customers are coming through here to go do the maze, right? I'm fine with calling it the Sunset Farm. That doesn't really bother me too much. So we're going to do it that, so we change in, well, if you come and decide to do this, I think this is actually set up over here somewhere, but we're changing it. We're going to put it over here, because like I said, this is going to be our parking area, and this area here is the parking area as well. Hay bale maze will be here, and then we'll probably kind of section this area off as just a entrance way for the actual farm itself, because it is a working farm, right? I think that was it in decorations. There's some other things and others here that I was considering putting in. I don't know for sure if we're going to or not. I'm kind of leaning towards probably no. But there's this farm sign pack here that I was considering. Contact farming only, login only, farming machinery. This is stuff I probably would put... Welcome to the server. Okay, this is probably for online stuff. This is stuff I probably would put down once we have a little bit more of a solidified setup, right? You could put down these signs to say this is always this, always that, blah, blah, blah. So, like, this would be a good one to put down, I think. Right? If we put this down over here, right, to say there's a dust warning, because this is where we're heavily working at, right? Especially for the hay bale maze, which is going to be somewhere in this vicinity, like we talked about, right? Somewhere in here. Haven't fully decided exactly how that's all going to be set up, but nonetheless. I think what I'll do is maybe put it... Because I think this is going to be the exit, I think, of our maze. We still have to do a little bit of work on the maze itself to try to set this up properly, because as you can see right now, I mean, there's no real way to get over here on this side. It's all kind of blocked off, so we kind of need to work that a little bit. What we'll probably end up doing is kind of connect this section here, and then maybe connect something like this. I don't know yet, but we're gonna have to work on the maze a little bit more to kind of do what I want. All I do know is that this is going to be our entrance no matter what. It's going to be right here. But I do think a dust sign makes sense here, because this is going to be a working area here. You're going to have equipment running up and down. If you got people over here, they need to be aware that this is a dust area. So we'll put that there. Let's see what else we got. Caution farm animals, grape, grass, green beans, hay, horse pasture, leased items. It's interesting. No tractor, trailer, entry, or parking. That would be good for our parking area, but I'm going to wait on that for a little bit here. No tractor parking here. Oat field, olive field, implements parking, tractor parking, parsnips, peas, pigs. These signs are really cool, though. I like these a lot. Just gonna run through all these and just look at them. I guess that's it. We're back to where we were at. Okay. And then there are these things, which I'm not really sure how I would utilize these. Emergency gas flare for manual operation. So I go over here and just send out a gas flare. I mean, I feel like I can make some kind of like almost like a fire show of some sort with it, but I don't know. There's still one thing I want to put in the maze here. Now I'm having a hard time finding where it was. I don't remember. I thought it was in decoration. Maybe I just overlooked it. No, it's not in here. Where is it? Okay, I found it. It's this gas tank, but I thought it was just a decoration. I didn't actually think it was a gas tank that could be utilized. And it was. But maybe there is one that can't be utilized and I'm just missing it. I don't know. I could have missed it when we were going through that. But we're going to put this one down anyway. It'll be nice. It has gas in it, I suppose, right? So if it does, we can just go over here and fill up our equipment from it directly, right? Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to do it all the time because at some point, the field will be grown to a point where we'll kill the crop if we go in here. But nonetheless, we can still put this down and utilize it from time to time. Where do I want to put it at? That's the question. I don't have that answer currently. We've got to be careful here too, right? Our harvester can only go so many places. If I was to put something here, right, which I can do. If I was to put something here, we might not be able to harvest that You understand what I'm saying? I'd have to kind of put it like down here further so we actually have some room to turn around and do some turns. So I got to be a little cautious with that. I mean, I don't hate putting it right here either. Because that can always move, that piece of equipment there, the seeder, the extra seeder thing, which we might start utilizing soon when we start getting some bigger fields. But for now, I don't really hate this being here. Okay, that's where it's going. There it is. So let's go over there and take a look at it really quick. So some more additions to the farm, gang. We're going to continue on adding more additions as we move along here, and hopefully some more stuff comes out on ModHub, decorational type of stuff. Don't want to put a ton of stuff in here, but I do want a good amount. And what I mean by I don't want a ton is I don't want something every 10 feet. I want to kind of spread it out a little bit, but yeah, that looks good. That's perfect. It's just an old gas tank that we're not using anymore, even though we are using it, that we're moving over here. Yeah, that works. All that looks good to me. I like it. So we're going to leave the episode at that point, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Consider becoming a member. Links down below in the description. You can see videos like this one and others early. Thoughts, questions, comments, ideas. You know the drill. Put them down below. Check my other channel out if you haven't done so. I'm getting ready to, when I get back from Vegas, start the new Dynasty Warriors Origins game. I'm a big Dynasty Warriors fan. I've been a Dynasty Warriors fan since I was little. I'm talking 8, 9, whatever it was. Long time. So I'm very, very excited for that game. So if you are interested in anything besides Farming Simulator, maybe go give my other channel a follow. And until next time, I'll catch each and every single one of you in the next episode.